Independent retail business can mean so many things these days. A brick and mortar store, an e-commerce business, a maker's online shop, a booth at an antique mall, and more. No matter which category you're in, Kathy Cruz, a fellow retail business owner and retail educator, will teach you how to market and manage your business efficiently so you can spend time doing other things you love. Welcome to the Savvy Shopkeeper Podcast.
Welcome to episode 57 of the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. This is part 2 of the Retail CEO Challenge, Tracking Business Performance. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. So today's episode is part 2 of the challenge, but it's also a continuation of episode 56. In today's episode, I'll be talking about more of the worksheets in the Planning and Tracking Worksheets bundle that you have access to if you signed up for the challenge. Equally important, and a good lesson for this episode, is that I'll be talking about why tracking is so important for shopkeepers. Tracking is one of the key pillars of a successful business. Without tracking, a business owner simply can't know what's working and what's not working. If my mission with this challenge is to empower you to become the CEO of your business, it has to include tracking. Now, ideally, in a multi-million-dollar business, someone is actually doing the legwork for you. And then you make decisions based off of that data. But so many of us are one-woman shops, one-man shops, maybe even two-person shops like me and my sister. So that means we have to do the legwork ourselves, and that's okay. This is why I created the worksheets, actually the entire challenge, so that it saves you time. You don't have to build this whole system for yourself. I've built it for you. It minimizes effort. Like I just said, it saves you time, and you can make this process as easy as possible for yourself. So for Savvy Shopkeeper, the business, my virtual assistant does the tracking work for me, and it's so helpful, and it takes one thing off of my plate. Ideally, that's the plan for the Salvage Boutique as well. That's the store I own with my sister, is to have someone do that legwork for us, and then I'll take a look at the information and make decisions for the business. My time is better spent making the higher level decisions based on the data that's given to me. So if this is what you're striving for too, then awesome, you're in the right place. But in the meantime, if you have to do the legwork yourself, that's okay, right? So let's get started. Data is important, and you hear me say this often, right? Especially if you listen to all of the episodes. And I've added this disclaimer in the past. So there's data. Some people prefer data. Don't let the way I say it, if you prefer data, to bother you and not listen to the rest of the episode. It's like tomato, tomato. So let's talk about why data is important. Data helps you make better decisions. You're keeping an eye on the business all year long versus just the end of the year. So if you're the kind of person that waits to do all of your bookkeeping, and then you take a look at your numbers or maybe some other detailed parts of the business, but you don't do it until January, that's a mistake. You want to look at that information throughout the year. And this system helps you do that. If you're the kind of person that does wait for the end of the year, I caution you not to do that, because if you wait for a full year, it might be too late, or maybe there's too much damage in your business to address whatever the issue is. So here's a list of decisions that data can help a business owner make. It can help you find new customers, or at least the data can point that you need to find new customers. It can increase customer retention, improve customer service. It can improve the way you manage your marketing efforts. It improves tracking social media interaction. It improves or could improve financials, generating more revenue, so many things that if you just take the time to look at the data, it could help your business. Data helps you solve problems. Data helps you understand performance, particularly if you have systems and processes. And we talked about that in episode 56, but data can also help you determine if those systems and processes are working properly. Data can help you serve customers better. And most importantly, data helps you. You can serve yourself better. If you want a business that you love, this is one way that you can do that, is by focusing on the data. This episode is brought to you by Gusto. Gusto is a payroll software system for small businesses that makes it easy to add new hires, calculate and withhold taxes, process payroll for employees and contractors, and stay compliant. Even better, Gusto is affordable for small retail business owners. If you're looking to hire and you're overwhelmed by what to withdraw, how to calculate it, what paperwork you need to file, Gusto makes it really easy to manage payroll. The system does it all for you. If you want more like time tracking, workers' compensation benefits, or other benefits for employees, Gusto offers those services too. We all learned in 2020 the value of payroll employees versus subcontractor employees, particularly when we applied for federal assistance programs or local and national grants. If you know it's time to build a team of payroll employees, or you're frustrated with your current payroll provider, and you want to try Gusto for 1 month free, visit savvyshopkeeper.com/Gusto for a special link. That's savvyshopkeeper.com/Gusto, Gusto. Tracking could be viewed as yet another task, and I get it. Another thing that you have to do every month or every week, whatever you choose. But I just want to say this, and I feel like I've said this before, but the weekly 15 to 30 minutes you might spend on tracking and metrics in your business, it's way more valuable than the mindless scrolling that you do on Facebook and Instagram every day. And this isn't even tough love. This is, on occasion a conversation with myself too, because I'm guilty of the mindless scrolling. I've talked about it before. So I just want to make sure that you understand that. Choose how you use your time wisely. Would you rather spend an hour and a half mindlessly scrolling Instagram or TikTok? Or would you rather take a good solid 15, 30 minutes to do the tracking in your business? So you see, the CEO planner you're building isn't a one-shot deal. You'll use this throughout the entire year. Tracking is the one thing that actually, personally for me, forces me to take a moment to pause or reflect and really think about that one thing that I'm tracking and why is it performing well or why is it performing poorly. If you signed up for the challenge, and you can still sign up for the challenge if you want at shopkeepersacademy.com, I just want to make sure that I talk about the worksheets in the bundle that pertain to tracking. So if you signed up for the challenge and you have your worksheets in front of you, we're going to talk about the 4 worksheets in particular that are about tracking. So the first one is monthly marketing metrics. Keeping track of your marketing efforts is a good way to determine if you're growing, where you might be getting a return on investment, or where you need to improve. On this worksheet, I included some standard metrics that you should be tracking, like Instagram followers, Facebook followers, but then I also left some category rows blank because each of our businesses is different. So I left them blank and you can fill them in based on your needs, but maybe you have a VIP Facebook group and you want to track the growth of that group. Or maybe you have a really active online shop and you want to track the conversion rate of your online shop. Or you have an effective email marketing plan and email list, and there's something that you want to track there too. So again, it just depends on your business and what's important to track in terms of marketing. The next worksheet that I want to talk about is the 6-month sales goals tracker. You track your sales every month and calculate the difference from last year to the current year. And for some shopkeepers, I know you probably track maybe weekly, monthly, whatever it is. But on this particular worksheet, I have you actually calculate the percentage difference. How did it change from the year before? Did it go up 5%? Did it go down 20%? This worksheet will help you track other important sales information too. The important part here is that you're doing this task every month. So you can set an actual reminder or a date with yourself in your calendar just to sit down and do this. It does not take long. Neither does the monthly marketing metrics worksheet. So just reserve maybe 15, 30 minutes on your calendar once a month to do this. I want you to be able to identify the sales that why the sales were up or down and just really understand why. The next worksheet I want to talk about is the inventory turn worksheet. I want you to calculate how quickly your inventory turns by category. And you can calculate inventory turn other ways, but this worksheet really keeps it simple. The one thing that I do is I recommend 10 categories at the most. It doesn't mean that you can have subcategories. I want you to focus on 10 main categories. This worksheet helps you calculate how quickly your inventory is turning by category. This is the worksheet that's probably utilized the least, but I'm determined to get shopkeepers to use this one because it's that important. Shopkeepers tend to focus on revenue, but the speed at which your inventory turns is really telling. This particular worksheet and the 15-page year-end report that I'll talk about in a couple of episodes has so many things that shopkeepers aren't told or taught, and that's why this challenge, I'm sure you could tell the excitement in episode 56, but that's why this challenge has me so darn excited, because you will learn so much about your business when you sign up for this challenge. Of course, you have to do the work, but then you'll learn even more during the masterclass I'll teach on February 8th. This episode is brought to you by Flowdesk. Email marketing shouldn't be so hard. That's what I thought for years when I struggled using another software program to design and send emails for my retail store. Then Flowdesk came along. Now it's so easy to design and send beautifully branded emails to our customers that convert into sales. I also use Flowdesk to send the Savvy Shopkeeper newsletter. Flowdesk is a woman-owned company and the software is in beta, which means they're still new and building some features, but personally I have loved it. If you have an email list of over 1,000 or more subscribers and you send emails to your customers pretty regularly, you know the monthly price for email marketing can add up. At this time, Flowdesk is offering unlimited subscribers and unlimited emails for $38 a month. But I have a special offer for you. You can have unlimited subscribers and send unlimited emails for only $19 a month. To get half off the monthly price of $38, yes, it's only $19 a month, visit savvyshopkeeper.com/Flowdesk for a special link. That's savvyshopkeeper.com/Flowdesk, FLODESK. The next worksheet that I want to talk about, and this is the last one in terms of tracking, is the Profit First quarterly report. Profit First is a cash management system, and it ensures that you pay yourself first. So you know I love that. And Profit First is a book and system written by Mike Michalowicz. It's definitely not mine. I'll have a blog post that I wrote about Profit First. I'll have it linked in the show notes so that you can read it. But Profit First for retailers, and I have my air quotes going right now because I've already titled this episode, it is without a doubt an episode that I have planned for 2021. Profit First comes up way too often, and it's too helpful of a tool not to cover it in an episode. So make sure you listen for that in the future. But if you're a current Profit First user, this worksheet is meant to have you pause. You see a pattern here. Pause every quarter to determine if the percentages you're using are actually working for you. Are you finding that you're transferring funds from one account to another because one account is short? Then this is something that needs to be addressed. And if you're not a Profit First user, you're probably wondering what the heck I'm talking about. But for those of you that do use it, this will make sense. Once money goes into each account, it should be enough to cover that part of your business. And if you're transferring funds constantly to make up funds or take funds to make up in another area, that's usually a good sign that there's a problem. It took me a good 18 to 24 months for me to figure out the ideal percentages for my own business. So be patient with yourself, but make sure you're looking at it every quarter, and that's exactly why this worksheet is helpful. Like I mentioned in the past, if you have a suggestion for another tracking worksheet, feel free to reach out to me. I want these worksheets to be as valuable to each of you as possible. So if you have an idea or you have a suggestion for a change or something that you would like to see added, I can't always promise that I'll add it, but I will take it into consideration. And there have been plenty of times. I actually just sat and cleaned out my office over the past weekend. And I wish I would not have done this, but I shredded a bunch of the old worksheets that I had where I literally took a red marker and wrote all over them because I was getting suggestions, because I knew they needed to be better. So I'm constantly tweaking them and improving them. So feel free to DM me on Instagram if that's the case, and you can DM me at Savvy Shopkeeper. That's Savvy Shopkeeper, all one word. Okay, so if you want to sign up for this 2021 Retail CEO Challenge, it's not too late. I think it's really important that I mention that. If you think January 1st is the time to plan and get started, or you feel like, oh, it's too late because I don't have my planner and I missed that boat, that's not necessarily true. You can start this at any time throughout the year. I actually wait a few weeks. Really, I probably wait until February to do this like my year-end report and all of that, because I want to get 2020 wrapped up nicely with a package and a bow on it and all the bookkeeping's done. And for that, sometimes you have to wait for bank statements to come in. So anyhow, my point is that even if you're listening to this episode in February or March, it really isn't too late. You can start this whenever you want. You can visit shopkeepersacademy.com, or you'll find the direct link to sign up for the challenge in the show notes. So the challenge is $197. And don't forget, if you're in Master Shopkeepers, you already have access to all of this information. You don't have to sign up for the challenge. If you're a lab member, there's a special discount code listed in the announcements section of our Facebook group. Again, I would just want to mention it. It's in the announcements section, which is pinned to the top of the Shopkeepers Lab Facebook group if you want to grab the discount code. And I know some of you have, and I'm really excited about it. For the other people who have signed up, I'm even more excited to see you in the class. I think that's the first week or the second week in February. But seriously, though, $197 is nothing compared to what you can gain in your business if you sign up for this challenge. If you want to see the show notes to this episode or find links to anything that I've mentioned, you can visit my blog at savvyshopkeeper.com/episode 57. That's savvyshopkeeper.com/episode 57. Until the next episode, be savvy and boss up.